Hello, friends. It has been a minute since we last spoke. I hope you guys are well and you're excited for today's episode. Today is June 5th, I believe. What time is it? It's 15:55 or 3:55, but I have my phone in military time, so it's 15:55. So 555. That's a good omen. But basically, today's episode is my comeback episode. If you guys aren't familiar with or you're new, I went on hiatus with the podcast in late February, early March. I'm pretty sure my last episode was like the last day of February. But basically, I have been missing the podcast so much. I have not had an outlet to talk about beauty uninterrupted for a while. So I'm very, whoa, I said that really weird. For a while. So I'm very happy to be back. So let's see. Maybe I'll start with like a recap of my break. So like I said, I went on hiatus early March. I'm pretty sure my last episode I posted was late February. But for the first 2 months, March and April, they were pretty chill. I was working on other projects / businesses. I don't know what happened in like May basically, but I woke up one day with the urge to just work on the podcast theme for June. And I wasn't going to start doing it until like later, but I was like, oh, okay, let me work on it. And as I was working on it, I was like, oh my God, I am so excited to come back to my podcast. If you don't already know, literally this is like my job. Well, kind of, because I have other jobs too, but I was literally like working on the theme and then coming up with and like rehearsing hypothetical podcast episodes, which is kind of embarrassing, but I'm not embarrassed because I know you guys understand. I know you guys get me, so it's fine. But all in all, I really missed you guys. I was gonna do a get ready with me today, but then, I don't know, I was like, nah, I need to just talk. Because whenever I try to do a get ready with me, it's very difficult for me to like talk and do my makeup at the same time. And I feel like 80% of the episode just ends up being me talking about products. So as much as I know you guys love those episodes, I'll do one of those soon. I just thought we'd need to sit, chat, catch up. Hopefully this episode won't be that long. I'm worried that it won't be long at all because I wrote a script out just to stay on track, and I'm kind of worried that it's going to be like less than 10 minutes because when I rehearsed this earlier, yes, I rehearsed my podcast stuff loosely. I'm pretty sure it was around 15 minutes. Between 10 to 15 minutes. So I was like, the people want more substance. So I'm going to try to talk as slow as I can. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. But if you are new here, hi, my name is Layla. How does my intro go? It's like, hi everyone. Wait, see, like I don't even remember. Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Cute Kind Of. If you are new here, hello, hi. My name is Layla and welcome to my beauty and lifestyle podcast. There we go. I'm 25 years old. I'm a beauty person. I work in the beauty industry primarily. Ideally, I've been thinking about this lately only because I'm entering a new chapter in my life as a 25-year-old. As you know, the quarter life crisis has happened to me, but we're getting stronger. It's only up from here. But basically, I think right now I'm leaning towards beauty writing or beauty fashion advertising. Someone told me to like say that on my podcast. So that way, like people who listen to my podcast, who work in those industries or need someone, they can like be like, oh, like let me talk to this girl. You know? So that's why I'm saying it. But yeah, other than that, I run this podcast. I run a few businesses. Mainly my hiatus was to work on those. And then what else? I'm a Pisces. Basically. Other than that, we have a lot to catch up on. I don't know how in depth I will talk about this in this episode, but I think it can also stand alone as its own episode. But basically, the past few months have been a learning experience for me because I've been trying not to overwork. I think I definitely have that problem because I'm a career-oriented person. So for the past few months, I've been trying to rest more and just really start thinking about the next chapter of my life. I was like thinking about this the other day. Like it's nice to have a break, especially after college. Like when I talked to my friends, none of my friends had like a break after college. They went straight into working. And I mean, I was stressed about getting a job. However, like I had my other businesses, so it wasn't like a big deal. Sorry, I had to take a sip of my Thai iced tea. But yeah, it was pretty chill. And yeah, it's been chill. It's been pretty chill. I've been working on other projects, hobbies. I might share them at some point, but it's been nice to relax. but I'm very happy to be back. Thank you to everyone who's listening in Mexico, Cyprus, UAE. My podcast has been ranking on the Cyprus fashion and beauty chart for like months. And so anyone in Cyprus and anyone listening from anywhere, thank you so much for listening to my podcast. Like, I really appreciate it. I was really worried that on hiatus, like, my listenership would just like completely drop, but actually it's been great. So I'm very happy. So moving on, what do we talk about next? My podcast theme. So it's summer 2023. You guys already know this. But if you cannot tell, I changed my podcast theme from like that fall deep red color to something more calm, I would say. Can you hear that? That's a plane. You know, like usually I don't live necessarily by the airport, but once in a while, like you can hear the planes. And it's so funny because it's probably been like weeks since I last heard a plane. And of course, the day I record an episode, you hear it. But basically, back to my theme. The theme right now is black, cool tone, like grayish white, lilac, and a hint of icy baby blue. For summer, I was gonna do like that vibrant blue as well as that like icy gray white. However, I think a lot of podcasts actually do that. I was like, I shouldn't do that. But I was like thinking about it and I was like, I really want to do lilac. Like, I think lilac purple is such a pretty theme. And I wanted to incorporate that. But for a while, I was like, maybe I should do pink or some other color. But I was on my daily art app on May 9th. I wrote it down because I wanted to say it in case you have the app and you want to look at it. But on May 9th, the daily photo or the painting of the day was called Stages of Life by Caspar David Frederick. Oil on canvas. It was made in 1835. It's basically, okay, so I remember looking at this and I was like, this is a sign. Because it's this beautiful painting of like this small family sitting along the shore. And the stages of life is supposed to represent like the different stages, obviously, of life. So like it's a mom, a dad, their children, and then we have like an elderly grandparent in the photo as well. It's at sunset time and you can see ships off into the distance. But for me personally, the focal point of the entire painting was the sunset. The sunset was this beautiful orange contrasting with this really beautiful lilac purple color. And I was looking at it and I was like, oh, I need to do purple. This needs to be my inspiration. So I took it. The only thing was it was very warm. So I was like, we need to like tone down the warmness and I wanted a more neutral approach. I wanted to do something a little bit more sophisticated, low maintenance, because obviously I'm the only one running this podcast. However, I will be on the lookout for podcast editors soon. Also, I like the idea of having my Instagram or my podcast Instagram as kind of like a beauty mood board rather than me just marketing and regurgitating stuff from my podcast. Not to like toot my own horn, but I've been upping my graphic design skills and they went from mediocre to a little better than mediocre. So look out for that. But basically, yeah, and the thing with the purple color is it's very calming. I can't even tell you how much I designed and redesigned the same podcast logo over and over again. I made a couple of rough drafts. I found the one I liked, and then from there, I was just focused on tweaking colors, tweaking like the filter and the layers of it to get it like perfect. So this is what I came up with. Also, I accidentally saved the flattened image, which basically means like all the layers combined to one, and I didn't realize that, but it's okay because the final product was the one I wanted to go with. So yeah, and so I think purple is like a really cute calming color. Like I said, I wanted to make it more a beauty mood board, so I wanted to make sure the colors were as neutral as possible, and so that way I can just like post photos without editing them. I don't like posting other people's photos, like editing them in the sense of like adding a filter on top or like changing it up ever so much. Granted, I think it would be fine if I just like change up the temperature a little, right? But yeah, that's what I'm going for. I know I'm going on a tangent about this, so we're just gonna hop into the next segment, which is just me talking about like my posting schedule on Instagram. Right now it looks like I will do in feed about 3 days per week and then stories 2 to 4 days per week and maybe a reel once a week. I was depressed for a while and I realized it's because I haven't been doing my makeup. So expect a lot of makeup inspo, hair inspo, top shelves, etc. Also, I get a lot of information about sales. So I'm going to post the sales on my story for you guys because I know you guys like to save money as much as I do. And you guys also like to shop as much as I do. All right, next is about my YouTube channel, Layla Petals. I did not realize this, but if you type Layla Petals into the search bar on YouTube, Layla Petals is actually the name of a video game character. So if you ever search my channel, you're just gonna see videos about that. At some point, I will change it. But basically, if you're one of my 42 subscribers, hey, you might have noticed over the past 2 months, I've only been uploading reels, and it's because I ran into issues with my camera. So I think I might have talked about this, but I'm gonna talk about it again because I have more information to tell you. So originally I got the Sony vlog camera for my birthday, and that was back in February. The reason why I bought it is because it was meant for like videos. I bought that because I thought it'd be easier, but however, I don't like Sony cameras. The colors on it are kind of strange to me. They're very saturated, even when I adjust it on the camera. So I didn't really like that. I prefer to saturate them in post-production. But another thing about them is like, you have to play around with like the exposure, right? And like there was vibrancy and saturation for colors around me, but my skin tone was like really washed out. It was very strange, and I was like, okay, maybe this is not the camera for me. So I ended up returning it, and then I wanted the Canon G7X. I mainly shoot Canon, like I've been doing so for like 10ish years, so that's what I'm used to. But it didn't make sense for me because the Canon G7X and the Sony vlog camera from earlier are meant for vlogging, and I'm not vlogging. I'm just making makeup videos. And so I turned to the Canon M50, which is a mirrorless camera. Basically, mirrorless cameras are basically DSLRs without like the light reflecting mechanism inside them, so they're a lot compact and lighter. However, on the Canon G7X and the M50, the autofocus was not the best. I was like really thinking about what I wanted, although like the Canon M50 is like a very popular camera that a lot of vloggers have been using for years. And I think I could still use it for making like makeup videos. However, I was watching a vlog from my fam. Her name is spelled Maipham. I just wanted to spell it out so you guys can look her up. She's so funny. I love watching her vlogs. But there was one vlog where she was sponsored by Canon, and she introduced like the new Canon R10 camera, which is basically like the M50 but upgraded and has a super fast autofocus. And I was like, okay, this is what I want. So I'm going to buy that soon. I also need to buy Final Cut Pro, but I'm putting that stuff on the back burner for now, just focusing on the podcast. So that way I don't so I'm not like doing 50 things at one time. And along with my YouTube channel, there was a Medium page. And basically what I wanted to do with the Medium is just go in depth about like my makeup videos. Because essentially I didn't want them to be long. Like I wanted them to be about 15 minutes. And then on the Medium page, and if you don't know what Medium is, it's like kind of like a blog. I was gonna go in depth about the videos, about like creative direction behind them, like what I wanted to do. And it was just kind of like a way for me to express something I'm passionate about, which is creative direction. It also showcased like if you don't have a lot of resources, how can you go about like designing and creating something like a video? Because videos aren't just like setting up a camera and shooting with them. Videos are a lot of like the lighting, what kind of lighting you're using, what's in the background, what are you wearing, what vibe are you trying to set off, from like how saturated colors are and everything like that, what kind of fonts you want to use, what kind of music you want to use, and all those things. So I wanted to go in depth and talk about it, as well as like makeup products to give more like recommendations and so on and so forth. So that's still live. I think I might do a Medium post about my podcast theme because I think that'll be fun. But yeah, so that's still live. I'm going to bring that back when I bring the YouTube back. But other than that, I got sucked into my other project over my hiatus, which I finished, but I wasn't expecting it to take as long as it did. It took way longer than expected, which is another thing I'm trying to learn, which is like not to be overly ambitious with time, like add a lot more time cushion and padding. I don't know, that's like a pro tip. It stops you from being burnt out and stops you from like feeling disappointed in yourself or in like rushing projects. So I think that's a really, really important thing. So yeah, I finished that. I'll share it in the future one day. But yeah, that's basically what's going on with me professionally. What else? As for podcast episodes, I'm working on ideas, so if you have any, please let me know. But I have a couple that are in the works, but basically we'll have shorter episodes like this one, and then we'll have longer ones. I just asked for a little bit of grace for the longer, more like research-based episodes, because obviously I'm gonna need extra time to like put those together. But I'll let you know on the Instagram. But other than that, what do I expect to do? We're going to still do the Get Ready With Me, especially up until I get my YouTube back up. And then also, we're going to focus. What else am I going to do? We're going to do monthly favorites. I don't know. I love monthly favorites. We're going to do monthly favorites, of course. We're going to do product reviews. I've been using a lot of new products these past few months, so expect a bunch of like new product review and recommendation episodes. There was something I wanted to say, but I like forgot. Even though I have a script. Oh my god, no, I remember. It's my podcast YouTube. So I didn't redesign, but basically I'm starting to upload the episodes to YouTube. So if you guys prefer listening to podcasts on YouTube, definitely head to the Cute Kind of YouTube page. Basically, for that, I don't know if I'll upload them on the same day or if I'll wait a day and then re-upload them, but basically, yeah, that's another place. I know a lot of people like to listen to podcasts on YouTube rather than downloading apps and so on and so forth, so check it out there. As for a landing page, I don't have a podcast landing page anymore. Only because, like, extra work for, like, no reason. But basically, the link in my bio is just going to be straight to podcast episodes, and you're going to find most of the information in the info box anyways, so yeah, there's that. However, if you would rather me make a landing page, let me know, and I'll, like, make one, but other than that, that's basically it. That's basically it for the podcast. Oh, another thing I wanted to start doing was not like fashion beauty reviews, like when there's an event for celebrities, I'll just sit on here and talk about each of their outfits. Okay, so I'm gonna say this now, but I'm not like a very critical person, so don't expect me to be roasting people. It's just definitely more from a perspective of like what I would change it to make it better or what would suit this person better. But yeah, that's basically it. However, in true cute kind of fashion, I have a haul. Yes, everyone, I brought stuff. But basically, I have a haul. So Pharmacy Skincare had a Memorial Day sale, so I bought some stuff. Because of the sale, everything came in like this really cute pastel rainbow canvas bag. So yeah, that's what you hear if you spent over like a specific amount. But basically, I'm just going to tell you what I got. So first thing is the Pharmacy Hydrating Coconut Gel Sheet Mask with hyaluronic acid. This came in a 4-pack. Now, when it comes to sheet masks, my favorite sheet masks are from Taiwan. They're the Beauty Diary or My Beauty Diary Black Pearl mask. I also love like their hyaluronic acid and all their other masks. Those are my go-to face masks. I love them so much. To me, nothing compares to them. But when it comes to sheet masks, I'm very picky. And the only thing about Eastern Asian face masks is that I have a higher projection nose bridge, or like my nose bridge is pretty high. So that area doesn't fit. So I always end up like cutting kind of the nose area with scissors. That way it fits a lot more comfortably. When it comes to sheet masks that are from US based brands or whatever, I am very picky, but these are the ones I actually really enjoy. I think these are actually like gel rather than sheets. But I can be totally wrong because it's been a while since I used this. But basically, got these. I like these. They're pretty good. Next, we have the Pharmacy Honey Potion Plus Ceramide Hydration Mask. Now, if you guys don't know this, or if you've been listening to podcasts, you know this, but this is like literally one of my favorite face masks. Now, I don't do face masks very often. They're not my favorite, which is very surprising. However, this is the one that, like, if I want to do a face mask, I usually go for this. It's a little spatula. You scoop it out a little bit. You rub it between your fingers and on your face until it turns into like this whitish cream. Then you leave it on for like 10 to 15 minutes. This is the one I love. I highly recommend this, especially if you have skin that's kind of dry. It might be oily. It's just like needs a little bit more nourishment, especially hydration. Honey is really good for like getting rid of dryness on the skin. With that being said, another thing about this is it does have like this heating. How would you describe this? It's like it has this warming sensation on the face. So that's just something to keep in mind if you have more sensitive skin. But the thing about this is they changed the formula. So now it has ceramide in it. And ceramide is like a hydrating ingredient on the skin. Ceramide is not my favorite product. I know that's very weird, but whenever I get ceramide in like face creams or what have you, or like peptides in face creams, I don't like the texture. So I'm kind of wondering how it'll be with this. However, I think it'll be fine because this is a face mask, not like a face cream. Speaking of face cream, we also got the Pharmacy Honey Drop Lightweight Moisturizer. This is new. I have not tried this. I like how all these come with like a spatula. But basically, let me open this. Oh god. Oh no, I ripped it. Okay, here we go. This is a pretty popular product, I believe. But, oh my god, it's so cute. So the Honey Potion Plus face mask is a lot bigger and they changed the packaging to more frosty. But this Honey Drop Moisturizer comes in the packaging that the original Honey Potion mask was in. But yeah, it's really good. It's very cute. I'm excited to try this. This is a very popular product from them. Okay. And so, what is next? Now, the last product I got, which I am very excited to try, is the Pharmacy Honeymoon Glow Body Resurfacing Serum with honey and prickly pear. It has 12% AHA and BHA. However, okay, it's not actually... Okay, so it says 12% AHA and BHA. However, it's 10% lactic acid, which is an AHA, and then 2% BHA. So it basically says it improves texture and tone for smoother glowing skin. Use it 2 to 3 times per week. And do not use it on face. Avoid application after shaving. So I really wanted to try this. I think I mentioned, so I'm a pretty hairy person, just to be honest, okay? From one girl to another, or from one person to another, I'm just a hairy person. And so I do like a lot of like hair removal on my body or whatever. And if you guys don't also know this, I'm also darker skin. And usually if you have darker skin, some areas of your body is going to produce like darker, ashier areas, especially if you're frequently like using specific joints. So like examples, elbows and knees. I've been testing out so many products in the past like year to help with that. And I feel like I get a little closer, but I'm not getting the results or the more like consistent results I like. So I'm excited to try this because I'm really curious to see if this actually helps. And also another thing about it is I don't want it to be overly complicated, be doing too much for it. You know, I like results with little effort, you know what I'm saying? Okay, I can smell the prickly pear, but the prickly pear is masking the scent of the lactic acid. I don't know if you've smelled like lactic acid creams and serums, but they have that very strong, like, what's the word? They have a very strong, like, yogurt scent. Like, it doesn't smell exactly like yogurt, but if you sniff it, you'll understand what I'm saying. But it's not bad. I'm very excited to use this. It smells like the amylactin. I've talked about that before, like the lactic acid cream. But yeah, and then we're going to go into samples because we must recognize places that offer good samples and aren't stingy with their samples. But basically, I'll tell you the samples I got because I was actually shocked with these samples. They were pretty good sizes. First, we got the Pharmacy Wake Up Honey Eye Cream. This is 6 ml or 0.2 fluid ounces. This is actually a pretty decent size for like a sample eye cream. To be very honest, like I was actually shocked when I got this, and it comes in glass, so it's like a nice heavier material. Then we have a sample of the Honey Potion Plus mask, which is 9 grams or 0.32 ounces. You can probably get 2 to 3 uses out of this one. And then we have the Pharmacy Green Clean Makeup Cleansing Balm. This is 12 ml or 0.4 fluid ounces. This is like one of their most popular products, I believe. I also got another sample of the Green Clean. This is also 3 ml. And then they gave a lot of serums and toners. And these are pretty good sample sizes in my opinion. But we have the Pharmacy 1% Vitamin A Retinol Serum, firm and fights wrinkles. And this is 5 ml. Or 0.17 fluid ounces. I think vitamin A is like basically retinol. Then we have the Brighten Up 3% TXA Dark Spot Toner with azelaic acid and PHA. I actually love azelaic acid. Is it azelaic acid? I think it's azelaic acid. That's an ingredient in my Curology formulation. I can't remember though. now, but basically, this is 10 ml or 0.34 fluid ounces. It's TXA stands for tranexamic acid and azelaic acid and 5% PHA. So really weird way they put that. Next we have the 10% waterless vitamin C serum, brightens and targets dark spots. I'm very excited to try this. This is about 10% L-ascorbic acid, which is the vitamin C ingredient. But I'm wondering, what does water do to vitamin C? I'll look it up. And that is basically everything I got from the pharmacy Memorial Day sale. Like I said on my podcast Instagram, I'm going to be sharing sales on my stories. I'll try to do that every single day because I get links to so many sales that I'm pretty sure you guys are interested in. So yeah, other than that, I'll talk about my retainer or TMJ thing next time. But basically, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. If you want to keep up with me, you can follow the podcast on Instagram at QKindOfPodcast. My YouTube is at QKindOfPodcast, I believe, as well. I'll link everything in the show notes, so definitely check it out there. But thank you guys so much for listening. I look forward to talking to you guys forever. If you're listening, you're stuck with me now. But until next time, I love you guys, and bye!